Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now playing Battlefront. I have this is post uh, Rogue One viewing. Went to see it twice on the 15th and the 16th. I usually wasn't in the past too big on seeing movie premieres. It started happening recently. I used to see like a movie that came out a week afterwards or something like that. But these Star Wars films are I don't have it in me to wait. I got to go see these movies. This is a spoiler review stream, discussion stream on the movie Star Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That just released 2 days ago. Um, so if you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing? Get out and see it. Um, this is also spoiler filled because I'm going to be talking about this film. I have to talk about this film. This film is amazing. Um, I'm sure when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to be the first one to buy it, as always. Add it to the Star Wars collection. Um, but this is a spoiler-filled thing, and I don't hold any punches. If you stumble across and you haven't seen the movie, it's in the title. Use it to your own discretion. We're all adults here, and if you're not, you'll soon learn that soon. So, Star Wars Rogue One. This movie blew me away the first night I went to see it. I have I left that movie theater. I forgot which time I was in the movie theater. I forgot about what day it was. That's how awesome this film was. I love The Force Awakens. I love all the Star Wars films that came out. Um, it's something that is awesome. I have to shut off the music here because I know I'm going to get a copyright strike. I know YouTube is very good for that. So let's get to talking about this. I went to see it on the 15th. The 15th they had um, special tickets that were purchased. Like you could see it on the 15th. First showing was 7 p.m., which I think the previews kicked in, so it probably kicked off around 7:30 or something like that. I don't even know. Um, Went to see this film, and I was blown away by it. So I went to see it on the first showing. I got to see this movie, and honestly, there are people who are saying that this film is on par with Empire Strikes Back. It's how good this film is. This film has everything in it. It is far from it being a kids movie, but then again, all Star Wars movies deal with adult issues, so it's kind of hard to call it something else. It's hard to say, oh, this is strong, but this is a straight up for a PG-13 movie, for a PG-13 film. Uh, it is very violent, but then again, it's a war movie, so what do you expect? This is a war movie, so this is a film that pulls very little punches and impacts when it needs to, goes hard when it needs to. This movie is taking place between episode 3 and 10 minutes before the beginning of episode 4. So you are sitting in a seat of a movie theater and you're just being along for this ride. I've sat through all 8 Star Wars films in movie theaters. Now, I wasn't there for the 77 release. I was there for the 20-year anniversary. 1997. I was there when Shadows of the Empire first came out, and the special editions were there. I was there before the prequels. They're after the prequels. Now I'm here during a different era of Star Wars. This movie is by far a fantastic film. Is it perfect? No. What movie is? If you go into a movie expecting it to be ultimately perfect, you're fooling yourself. Number one, human beings are not perfect people. Therefore, artists are not perfect people. What one person sees to be beautiful, another person sees to be a travesty. It's just the way that it works. The consensus on this movie is that it is fantastic. If you have seen it, that's awesome. Uh, I'm sure everybody will walk away from one thing and one thing only. I think the story is very immersive. I think it pulls you in. I think it fills the gaps of a lot of things that fans have been questioning for quite some time. And it does a good job of bridging those gaps. Why the first Death Star had a meter that was port that was 2 meters wide. It answers those questions as well as multiple other things. So, fantastic movie. Darth Vader is as terrifying as he should be. He is the Dark Lord of the Sith. But do not go into this movie expecting the fact that you will see him for a certain amount of time. You will not. He is not the main villain in this story. He is just the muscle. So, if you go into the movie with that, you'll be a whole lot better off because you're going to not focus on that and you're just going to focus on the fact that this is a Star Wars movie that is based upon people who are salt of the earth and they are just trying to bring the Empire down. This is the first Star Wars movie that honestly focuses on the fact that you are living in a gritty world. You are living in a world that is not perfect. You're living in a world that is not black and white. You're not living in a world that is perfect. You're not living in a world where the good guy wears black and the good guy wears white. This is a world that is as ultra realistic as the world that we live in. This is a world where you are dealing with the rebellion that is focusing on trying to bring it into this empire. And since the end of Revenge of the Sith to Rogue One, you've read the novels, you have seen the comics about how bad this world is and how bad the Empire truly is and how Emperor Palpatine rose to power and how he has started to create a world that benefits himself but no one else. So now you're dealing with an era of the Empire that is pretty much in its prime. This is the height of the Empire. It's a fantastic film in bridging the gap of that. The movie starts off 4 years after Revenge of the Sith. There is no opening crawl. It does start off with the long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And that's interesting. How did I die?
Stay vigilant. There is a Trandoshan bounty hunter called Bosk in your area.
Anyway, there is this world that you live in that is not perfect. It's gotten to the point where the Empire has taken away people's families. If you've seen the Rebel series, you will know that the Empire is not as peaceful as they promised it. This is an empire that is strictly mining people, taking people, using people. Oh, this person is glitching. Who's that person? Wow, that person is mad glitching. Hunt down Darth Vader. This is gonna be fun. But this is a world that is post You know, everyone's gonna play Vader after Rogue One, after this Rogue One movie. Everyone's going to be playing Darth Vader after this Rogue One film, and I'll explain it real soon why they'll be playing it this way. But this is a movie that shows the grittiness. There's a lot of gray in this movie. You know, Saw Gerrera, a Clone Wars character, one of the first characters that is transformed from an animated medium on television into cinematography. He's in this movie. They want to get rid of him. He's a fanatic, which is making the rebellion look bad. But this is a movie where people are desperate. People on the rebellion side is trying to bring it into this empire. They're trying to bring it in, and they're trying to bring it in, and they're willing to go through any great lengths to do that. So Cassian is going to backstab people and do whatever he needs to do, and then, you know, this is a ragtag team of mercenaries, bounty hunters, assassins, traitors, you name it, to get this objective done, to steal the Death Star plans. So that's where that movie begins. That's where this movie begins at, going to the context of it. One of the things that was really surprising with me when looking at this film, when looking at this movie, was the fact that this is a movie that literally is the first time that you're looking at the Star Wars universe with no Jedi. And you get the sense of helplessness, where these people who are in the world now are not Force sensitive, they're not Jedi, they can't, you know, jump tall buildings and jump tall of this and have lightsabers and be able to take out the... No, this is a world that is post-Jedi purge. And it is hopeless. There is no hope. There is no hope. And you deal with a world that has built the Death Star. The Death Star is finally complete. And they have to do what they have to do to try and steal the plans. Now, the amazing part about this film, a lot of people complain about the pace of it and everything. I went to see this movie twice. I'm probably going to see a little bit more as time goes on. I've got to see it. It's a great movie theaters, which I suggest everyone to do. If you're going to see a movie, you're in a day and age now where you have a lot of good movie theaters. Like, they're not your mom and pop type of movie theaters where you buy your popcorn and stuff like that. Like, go see this movie in a great movie theater. I went to Cinemark. I'm not trying to, like, get free publicity or whatever, but I went to Cinemark. This thing was fantastic. 2-tier stadium-style seating, balcony type of seating, open bar, gourmet food, delicious, man. You know, it's true what they say in life. Like, you do get what you pay for. So you gotta pay for some good stuff if you want some good stuff. Amazing. The sound was fantastic. You know, all that stuff plays a factor into when you want to see a movie, because, you know, if you want to see a movie, you're gonna see one that's really good. So you want to see something that's gonna be worthwhile. You're gonna get your money's worth. This film, because I don't know how it's going to be judged from here on out, I loved it. You know, like I said before, and I say it again, I think this is 1B to The Empire Strikes Back. Now, a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people say, oh, this movie, I wasn't really feeling this movie or whatever. It's whatever. When Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, it wasn't as popular as it is now. You're looking at revisionist history if someone says that The Empire Strikes Back blew people away. It didn't blow people away. Like, Empire Strikes Back got negative reviews when it came out. It was seen as a downer, seen as that. And since then, it started to grow on people. People went back to see that movie theater again, moving it over and over and over and over again. and it grew to legend as being one of the greatest sequels since The Godfather Part 2. That being said, this movie has the potential to do that. It has the potential to be that. You know, a lot of people complain about the pacing. A lot of people complain about the editing and all that type of stuff. I don't really go into movies to look for mistakes, so you're not going to hear it from me. You know, I didn't go to school to study cinema, but I am an avid moviegoer. I do like to look at things. I do like to look at themes and stuff. I did take movie studying class in high school, so that's where it is and that's where it stops. I'm just a person who loves narrative. I love reading. I love studying stuff and applying it. So when I look at this movie, I can look at this movie and see something that makes sense to me. And this movie makes sense to me. You know, does it go fast? It does. It goes pretty quick. It doesn't give you enough time to introduce yourself to people. Doesn't really give you enough time for character development. But then again, I mean, this isn't a trilogy. You know, this isn't a saga. This is a Star Wars story. Like, you're looking into like a 1-volume book of people who are you know, you're looking at a book of people who are, you know, just grouped together to get where they got to go. You know, and the moments that they meet up and they do stuff is so quick and so fast, but they got to be in a rush. They got to go. This movie, honestly, does so well with CGI and does so well with visual spectacle. Gareth Edwards is a director who loves size. He's all about size. Godzilla, he was all about size. He did size in this movie so good. And the Star Wars film needs size because you have to be drawn into the massiveness of this film. He does a good job with that. You know, you're looking at the Death Star, and the Death Star is so like there are shots in this film of the Death Star that he's done that I've never imagined to see. You know, angles in which you've only seen in video games, angles in which you've seen in comic books. This man takes it to another level, and I don't know how much the reshoots did. I mean, look, you've heard it from other people. You'll hear it from me too. Like almost 50% of what was in the trailer is not in this movie. Okay, there are certain scenes that's in the movie that was not in the trailer, and I'm starting to think, and this isn't a negative thing. I'm starting to think if perhaps, you know, maybe we're looking at a version of a movie that wasn't the original movie, because there are reshoots, and then there's like, wow, this really was a new film, you know. So I don't know. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that movie, to see that movie being made. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the studio to make this movie because it was the first standalone Star Wars film. There is no opening crawl. That's fine. It didn't really bother me. Didn't really bother me that much to see no opening crawl because I knew walk in like this is not a saga. This is not a Star Wars saga. This is a standalone film. So things are going to be done. Things are going to give you a little bit more freedom to use as opposed to maybe the crawl and everything. I do like the fact that they did. I do like the fact that they did start the movie off with a prologue. You know, the relationship between this film and Catalyst is there. I'm pretty sure people who read Catalyst going into this movie had a little bit more of an investment within the characters and stuff like that. A lot of people don't have time for that. I think that, you know, to mix the mediums, to have characters from books and translate them and transport them into movies and translate people from movies into comic books and stuff. You're dealing with a Star Wars universe now that is the most succinct and the most organized that you're ever going to see. Above any time in Star Wars history. So, it's important to be invested in this world. It's important to be invested in the medium. It's important to be invested in this stuff because everything is so succinct and so symbiotically connected now that it is impossible to go into this stuff blind. That being said, a lot of the casual Star Wars fans will have a problem keeping track. I will say this is a Star Wars movie for fans. Hardcore fans who know the references, know that the ghost ship was in this movie, know Darth Vader's castle, know all that stuff. They know what to pay attention to and where to see it. And there was a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, and it wasn't forced, and it wasn't shoehorned in. It was natural, and that's something that's rarely done these days. You know, maybe it was a two-director thing that was working on these ideas to close up that ending. Very good. Jen Erso, I think Felicity Jones played that character so well. You know, her emotions in this film is unbelievable. Just great cast. Forrest Whitaker wasn't in there long enough, but he did his purpose. You know, he went out on Jeddah when the Death Star struck. You have Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn, who also played in Dark Knight Rises. He was in this film as Director Krennic. Great character for a one outing villain, really good. And he wasn't your methodical, classical villain. He was one of your social worms, your socialite types of villains who like to move up the ladder and backstab people all the time and stuff and get to where he has to go.
Excellent work.
And he played it well. And I think that with the time that he was given, he did a pretty good job with his role. Now, everyone went into this movie theater waiting to talk about Vader.
Luke Skywalker has been spotted.
If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm going to talk about. Darth Vader has 2 scenes in this movie. Okay. Now, it sounds short, and everything, and I'll tell you why. I think it's because we as Star Wars fans have been spoiled. Especially the second generation of Star Wars fans that were born in the 80s and early part of the 90s. I don't really know what's going on in this mode right now, but this is really kind of glitchy. I think I'm gonna get out of this. I don't like this. This is sketchy. Because the reason why I'm gonna get out of this is because number one, Luke Skywalker, I just saw was a hero, and now you got Chewbacca. I'm not dealing with this group. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something that ain't right. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I think that... Let me get back to my train of thought. What was I talking? Darth Vader. Okay. Darth Vader in this film is not in this film a lot. But to be fair, we as Star Wars fans, especially the second generation growing up, born in the 80s, and the 90s, we were gifted with the fact of coming after the trilogies, the original trilogies, meaning that 77, 80, and 83 already happened, okay? That being said, we had a lot of Vader, what seemed to be a lot of Vader. To be quite honest with you, Darth Vader only spent 12 minutes total in A New Hope, or what was called at that time Star Wars. He only spent 12 minutes on screen. He is the most iconic villain of all time in cinematic history. He will not be topped. He will definitely not be topped after what I saw in the movies these past 48 hours. This is a Darth Vader that I have envisioned for years. This is a Darth Vader in which we have heard to be very deadly, to be fearsome, to be destructive, to be just destructive. We've seen this in comic books. We've seen this in the video game, especially in this Battlefront game. The Darth Vader that was in this movie, my mouth dropped when I first when I initially saw this movie, because I like to go into a movie fresh. I don't like to see spoilers and all this type of stuff, because you got people out here now who are willing to ruin people's experiences and stuff, and I don't like that. I wanted to go into this movie fresh. It is unbelievable how they portrayed Darth Vader in this film. And, you know, this is the first time since Revenge of the Sith that Darth Vader is alive and kicking on the big screen. Now, we've seen him in Rebels. We've seen him in the Vader comics, which is, you will never hear me talk bad about. I love those Vader comics. This man was amazing. He didn't have enough time. He didn't have a long enough time in this movie, but when he was there, man, he made it count. And James Earl Jones is back. For all the people who were worried about his suit looks just like the way, if not, it comes as close as it did in A New Hope. The tunic is over the chest plate, so you don't have to worry about that, as it was in the promotion stills. They promoted him a lot. Darth Vader is on Mustafar. Pablo Hidalgo came out and confirmed that. He's on Mustafar in this movie. He has a castle, which is something else that I want to get into. The fandom in this film is immeasurable. Okay? It is immeasurable. It's unfortunate because that scene's not in the movie. It's awesome. Okay? Now, with that being said, there are references in this movie and things that are taken from Ralph McQuarrie's drawings and things such as that is just fantastic. Darth Vader's castle is one of them. This is something that dates all the way back to Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, of Darth Vader's castle. And they were not able to do it at the time because of technology and all that stuff. Now you have the technology. This dude is on Mustafar, okay? All right, Mustafar, which is a prequel planet. It's the only planet in the movie that they didn't label. And they did it like that because they didn't want to give away the Vader scene. Darth Vader is in the back of the tank. Okay? When you get to see this dude in the back, now it's very important you don't see his face. Okay? The last time you see his face is Revenge of the Sith, and the next time you see it is Return of the Jedi. Very important that happens. It's very symbolic. Okay? This dude is in the back of the tank. Alright? Now, I've seen this scene in the trailers for a long time. I was like, well, who could it be? I said, I went from Krennic to Jyn Erso to, you know, maybe she's a double agent. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe, like, knowing nothing about this film. This is Darth Vader in a bacta tank. You see the charred, you see, like, the charred body, like, healing up and all this type of stuff in the bacta tank and everything. You see little glimpses of his wounds and his head and everything like that. And then it cuts to a part, like, this is where I'm talking about, where, like, Gareth Edwards is good with size and good with just, you know, people who direct films, I give them credit, because when you direct a movie, you got to go from nothing and make something. You got to use your imagination. Like, this is something that people just can't do. Like, you got to have an imagination. You got to have a passion for this stuff. It's the same thing in every art, every artistic medium that you're in. You know, it's easier said than done. Gareth Edwards provides a beautiful scene of Darth Vader where Krennic is waiting in the lobby for him. Well, I call it the lobby. Like, you know, Darth Vader has a secretary in this film. Secretary lets him know that Krennic is out there. Lets him know that. The next time you see Krennic is just intimidated by this guy, and you should be. This is the Dark Lord of the Sith. The doors open up slowly, and it kind of reflects the way the doors open slowly for Luke in Return of the Jedi. There's a lot of callbacks in this film, and you got to know movies and pay attention to that and be a fan to understand this stuff. There's a callback to Return of the Jedi when that door opens and you see the light behind just shows shadowy figure. All right, does so in the Vader comics as well. And there he is. And you hear the classic Imperial theme, and you see the shadow of Vader. He's not on the screen yet. All you see is a shadow of him. The shadow alone makes your mouth drop. My mouth dropped when I saw it. That's it. That's Darth Vader. That is the Dark Lord of the Sith. That's not Anakin turned Darth Vader. This is the Darth Vader. This is the Darth Vader in his prime. And you see him walk down the steps, and you see him walk your way. And last time you seen him walk was kind of Revenge of the Sith. I like to say that the last time you actually see Darth Vader as Darth Vader is Return of the Jedi in the suit. But the last time cinematically that you see him is in Revenge of the Sith. And he's just walking down. And then you hear James Earl Jones' voice. James Earl Jones' voice in this movie is good. Depending upon what movie theater you're in, it depends. But the cadence of his voice is great and intimidating and tall and massive. He still has the red lenses from A New Hope. Like I said, they did the best that they can do with that. And he does a really good, a cheesy one-liner that everyone's talking about, which I like. It kind of talks about Anakin's humor. He chokes Krennic after he has the conversation with him. The novelization of it is beautiful. As is every cinematic novelization, because novelizations go into the mind of the character, where you don't have time to do that in a movie. But Krennic tries to get smart with him or something. So that means I'm in charge still, or something like that. And then you hear the like you know that scene. He's choking. Like, careful that you don't choke on your ambitions, director. It's crazy, and it's amazing. And all he does is he just walks away. You know, Darth Vader is that type of villain in a movie where you don't need to see much of him. All you need to do is just know he's there. And that presence is enough to throw you off and keep your eye to the screen. I felt like a kid again. I was intimidated by looking at this guy on the screen. There's something about Vader that's iconic to cinematography. And it was amazing. Now, the next time you won't see him again is until the last 10 minutes of that movie, when all your heroes are gone, everything is done, and you think it's going to end. I didn't expect to see this scene. Again, like I said, I came into this movie blanket-minded. I wanted to be shocked and surprised. I didn't expect to see this part. And most people who've seen this movie knows what I'm talking about. The last 10 minutes and or the third act of this film is one of the greatest third acts in the history of cinema. I'm going to be saying that a lot tonight. It's the greatest act in the history of cinema. This third act has the best space battle since, perhaps, Return of the Jedi. Okay? Return of the Jedi had a great space battle. But Return of the Jedi was the last one that had like everything going on at the same time. Okay, I guess you can toss Phantom Menace in there. Phantom Menace would probably be third. Rogue One, 2, 1, 2. Probably Return of the Jedi would be, up there. Something like that. I know people don't like Phantom Menace. Whatever, get over it. It's old. Prequel hate's old. Especially now with the Rogue One, that really embraces the prequels. I think Rogue One, honestly, I'm going off on a tangent here, but Rogue One is honestly the movie that waves a peaceful and beautiful hello and goodbye to both of those worlds, and it merges the two. It's like it's seriously the peanut butter to the Reese's. Nevertheless, I digress. This second scene, which is the last 10 minutes before, Tarkin stands up there and says, Vader will handle the fleet, you deal with the beach and stuff like that, because he was like, you may fire for ready, all that type of stuff. They get the data plans, okay? The data plans go up to the ship, which if you've seen A New Hope, you know what's happening. Several transmissions were beamed to this shuttle. I'd like to know what happened to the plans that were sent to you. For all that, they're scrambling around running, okay? All of a sudden, scene goes dark, okay? Scene goes dark. They're not going to do this. It's like, I don't know what's happening right now, so they're not going to do this. And then you hear the breathing. Because he says, prepare the boarding party. Which honestly, to be honest with you, a part of me wished Vader would have said, "Bring my shuttle." Just because it was taken out of Empire Strikes Back, and it's such a bad, and I mean bad in a good way, but such a bad, pissed off way that Vader says what he says. Like, Vader's pissed off in that scene when he walks away, when Luke turns him down in Empire Strikes Back. It would have been nice to hear that. Because, you know, Vader's pissed. You know. But he says, prepare my shuttle. No, not prepare my shuttle, but prepare the shuttle for the boarding party. And you see the shuttle to Darien. I don't think it's shuttle to Darien, but it's Vader's shuttle, which has been seen since Return of the Jedi. His own personal shuttle. That's the boarding party. Okay? That's the first time in Star Wars cinematic history that you see that shuttle before Empire Strikes Back. You don't see it in A New Hope. You see it in Empire Strikes Back. Special edition. Originally, the first time you would see it would be Return of the Jedi. Times have changed. So they go over there to the boarding shuttle. This is beautiful. They're scrambling around, they're running around and everything to get the data plans and stuff like that. And transfer it, because now they downloaded it, everything, and got the beam to it. All of a sudden, you hear the boarding party, and it gets dark. They're sitting around, they're nervous, and they're scared. All of a sudden, you hear this breathing. It's the same iconic breathing I've been hearing for pretty much my entire life. And you say to yourself, that's funny. I said, there's no lightsaber in this movie yet, and bam, there was a lightsaber. Darth Vader ignited his lightsaber, and he's standing in a pose that is so good. This dude goes to town. I'm gonna tell you something. Battlefront was on to something when they made Vader, because this dude wrecked havoc. Okay, this dude wrecked massive havoc. In maybe, I even lost count. I don't even know. It's 40 seconds, maybe about a minute or so, give or take, being gracious enough. This dude destroys people like I've never seen Vader destroy anyone in my entire life. And I've seen comics, I've seen animated TV shows, I've seen video games. I've always wanted to see this Vader. I wanted to see a Vader that didn't hold himself back because he loved his son. I wanted to see a Vader that wasn't cautious because he was fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was a Jedi, and they bested him before. This was a Vader that straight up had nothing to lose. This dude wrecked havoc. And I'm sitting up here, I'm like, my mouth dropped. This dude, he was doing like some prequel move, saber tossing and stuff. He was doing Anakin moves. Which, honestly, if you read the novels, if you read Tarkin was trying to figure out who Vader was. And it didn't dawn on him who Vader was until he saw the saber moves. He's like, this is quite familiar. I remember seeing somebody who did this, you know, in during the Clone Wars. He was doing Anakin moves. Saber toss and twirl and all this type of stuff. And like, just blast. These people are getting wasted. Like, just wiped out. This is the best scene in all of Star Wars. I don't care what movie comes out afterwards. I don't care. This is the best. This scene. This is one of the best. Best right now. One of the best. I'm not gonna say best because Episode 8 might blow me away. If Luke has his green lightsaber in that movie, and he does something to the magnitude of this, I'll retract my statements. You know, fates be willing, if I'm still here, you know, I will retract my statements. But to this point, these dudes with the hats, okay, they are in that corridor. And I've never seen fear acted out like this a day in my life in a movie. This dude wrecked havoc. Shooting blasters and deflecting stuff like I've never seen Vader just go ape nuts on this stuff. He just went ape nuts, man. It was just blocking stuff. And dude was just slicing them up, man. Slicing them up. And they were running for their lives and everything. Like, Vader cut a dude in half. You know, I'm like, this is PG-13. I hate to see this movie if it was rated R. And hate, I mean, I would love. This dude destroys them. And it's like, he's force choking people. Dude, he is raging. Like, if this was a video game, people would be asking to, patch him because he's what the kids say, OP. This dude is raging, force choking people, throwing people to the side, throwing people to the walls and everything, hanging people up on ceilings and stuff and just cutting them in half. And this one dude, like, I don't even know if people noticed this, but this one dude was cut half because the saber goes through him and slices the door open. Who gives in the pass? I mean, it's a short scene. It's one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a Darth Vader this is a Darth Vader before he knows he has a son. This is a Darth Vader before A New Hope. This dude is bad. He's a bad man, and he's willing to do it. And it's awesome. I love this movie. I really do. You'll come back to me 2-3 months from now. Maybe 4 or 5 when the DVD's out, Blu-ray's out, digital download. I love this movie. I do. I think Vader was used perfectly. I'm not complaining about the amount of time he was used. Vader's the type of guy where, he's at the point now where he's epic status. You gotta use him like that. But that's my thing about Vader. Best scene ever of him. Now, to talk about Tarkin. Tarkin in this film, I didn't really expect for him to be used as much as he was. It depends upon opinion. I've lived through CGI from 97 to about now, so I've seen this stuff change firsthand. From, it looks okay, to, holy wow, that's actually a dude talking. A lot of people complain about it. It's just whatever. This dude looks amazing. Okay, keep in mind, this is Peter Cushing. The likeness of Peter Cushing has more time in this film than the actual Peter Cushing did in 1977 in Star Wars. Okay. That being said, when I first saw this guy, my mouth dropped because there were certain scenes in which Peter Cushing, it looked like Peter Cushing was talking. Like Ben Mendelsohn was actually having a discussion with Peter Cushing, who passed away 22 years ago. Okay. I was blown away. This dude looked like he was having a conversation. And the guy played as Tarkin was having full-fledged conversations. Like, and they didn't hesitate from showing him off. It's like, hey, look, like, we spent a lot of money to make this happen. They were really confident. And I honestly tell you the truth, if it's ILM, I'm not worried about it. These guys know what they're doing, and they don't just put out crappy products. They're going to put out something that is worth the money. So, no worries there. No worries at all. Tarkin looked amazing. He had, and the thing is, like, that ILM is always known for tricks. This was something that George Lucas did. This is something that George Lucas did, and it carries over with the rest of the staff that worked under him and did everything from Doug Chain to the artistry. Is that ILM is known for their tricks. One thing I love is mischief and tricks up the sleeve. ILM does a lot of tricks up the sleeve, and it's fantastic how they do it. So, big ups to them. Kudos to them for doing that. Tarkin looked fantastic, man. I can't stress out enough how Tarkin looked. And to hear him talk, and it's never going to be perfect. Like, people, I don't understand, like, people who criticize it. It's like, oh, it's CGI and all this type of stuff. It's like, I don't understand how you can critique that, because it's never going to be perfect unless you have the person. And if the person's dead and gone, respectfully, if the person's dead and gone, the best that you can do, okay, is what was done in that film. All right, I don't know about you, but Father Time is undefeated. All right, I'm 28 right now. All right, I guarantee you, in 30 years, I'm not going to be 28. It's just not how life works. It's just not how math works. So people get older, people pass away. The fact that we are at a point now in technology, in movies, in cinema, where we can actually have Peter Cushing talk in 2016 to Ben Mendelsohn blows my mind. I'm the type of person where, you know, I can't be a critic. You know, I can't live off of giving an opinion and having other people, you know, eat my opinions as gospel for my entire life. I'm a type of person who gets lost in the sauce. I'm a habitual lost in saucer type of person. And, you know, I'm just blown away. I'm sitting up here 24 hours later trying to, you know, process this stuff, process this movie that I've seen. You know, and it's crazy. This guy, I love Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing and his work. He worked with Christopher Lee, who passed away recently. And it's just fascinating how amazing this stuff is. You know, how can you be so critical of that? You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, can you do a better job? It's ILM, dude. And they've done this recently. They did, like, I saw what they did with Michael Douglas. They made Michael Douglas look like the 80s version of Michael Douglas. They made Robert Downey Jr. look like the 80s version of Robert Downey Jr. I'm lost in the sauce, dude. That's just how I am. I'm lost in the sauce. And I will continue to be lost in the sauce. I'm fascinated by these movies. I still don't even know how in the world they do the opening crawl to Star Wars. I just don't. And you can show me how it's done. I still don't know how it's done. That's how it's childlike I am. I'm so, you know, I'm lost in the sauce, man. Like I said, I'm a habitual lost in the saucer. So I went to see this movie twice, just to get the feel of what I was looking at, how I was looking at it. I'm trying to send a link in to send some people over here if they want to talk about this film, this movie, because, you know, I'm telling you, it's amazing. You know, I mean, Tarkin looked amazing, and near the end, they get the data plans. Vader is severely angry afterwards. They get the plans, and Captain Antilles, which is I think this is the third time the character is seen on screen. He was seen at the end in Episode 3. He was seen in Rogue One, and he is seen in New Hope. He grabs the data plans. He gives them to Princess Leia. And as soon as I saw this scene, I saw the back of Princess Leia, and you don't see her face yet. They grab the dish. He gives it to her, and you clearly see her face reveal. I'm like, that is 1977 Carrie Fisher right there. That is a 19-year-old Carrie Fisher. That is a 19-year-old Carrie Fisher in this film. No, so that is a 19-year-old Carrie Fisher that's in this movie. I was just in disbelief. My mouth dropped. I gasped and I put my hands over my mouth. I said, I can't believe this. I am blown away by technology. You know, people are so jaded these days, man. When it comes to, like, you hear every movie review, I just don't feel Rogue One. I just don't like this. I just don't like that. I don't like this. I'm like, have you ever stopped for a second and realized that we just saw two movie actors who are, one, passed away, and two, 60 years old, and managed to be transformed back into themselves 40 years ago? Like, can you just sit down and appreciate that for just 1 second? Like, that is mind blowing. I still got to process this movie. I still got to process this film. I can't. I drove home I drove home that night. Okay, I drove home that night, and when I walked out the first time, I was so shocked. I was like, I can't talk. I can't talk. I was so blown away by this movie. I can't talk, and it's like I couldn't type. I couldn't say anything to anybody. All I said was "Holy crap." I didn't really say crap. I said "Holy crap." I said, "Man, I can't talk to anybody. I gotta go home, and I gotta watch A New Hope." This movie does for New Hope what Episode 3 couldn't do. And that's not a knock against the prequels. That's not a knock against the movies. That is basically saying that, you know, this film leads directly into a new Hope. It's pretty much a saga film. It's Episode 3.5. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I haven't seen a Star Wars movie multiple times since, I think, Revenge of the Sith. I went to see Revenge of the Sith 3 times. The Star Wars movies are movies that are meant to be seen on the big screen. George Lucas has said that himself. There's something magical, man, about seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters. That's like, you get lost in the sauce, man. I know I keep saying it, but you get lost. And it is just fantastic. I have to talk about this movie. And there's so much more to talk about this movie. So much more to process. This movie is fantastic, dude. Like, you know, this is the first time, by the way, that you are looking at these X-Wings. And you're looking at the Galactic Civil War in 21st century movie technology. Like, I mean, let that dawn on you for just a second. You're watching this movie about Darth Vader, TIE fighters, X-Wings, the Galactic Civil War. You're looking at all these ships and stuff, and it's not like prequel stuff. It's not like the way The Force Awakens was, where this movie's 30 years after all this stuff. No, these are TIE fighters, and these TIE fighters are not held by models or anything. They're done by computers and practical effects. And holy cow, what they can do with this stuff just blows my mind, man. You know, I know people are against the special editions for whatever reason, because they don't have the originals, but I think at some point, and this is an unpopular opinion, but, you know, whatever. I think at some point, when this is all said and done, or at least they're halfway through, there should be at least an upgrade to the special effects in the original trilogy. And also the prequels. Because the prequels are looking kind of dated too. I mean, let's not forget the prequels, Phantom Menace is almost 20 years old. Okay, given next year it'd be 18. So, it's starting to look a little dated itself too. But I mean, worth a thought, man. Like, can you imagine what A New Hope would have been if it was made right now? Like, back then in 1977, like, the technology was so great, it blew people away. Like, I can't imagine how people would feel if they would have seen this movie in this type of technology. And it's just fantastic. Oh my goodness, man, those Star Destroyers look so amazing. And then all the tidbits and all the Easter eggs. They had the people in there from the New Hope Cantina. You know, the I'm wanted in 12 systems and all this type of stuff. It's just crazy, man. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic movie. You know, I have an ultra respect for directors and stuff, and people who do movies and direct stuff, because most people who critique stuff and say they don't feel this have no idea what goes into that work. It is hard, man. You got to sit down. You got to write a script. You got to get script writers. You got to get people, and even that, like, it's hard to be creative and think. Like, I get writer's block. I spent 9 years in college between community college and obtaining a master's degree. and I've written papers. I've written about at least 500 papers in my time. I know papers are not scripts, but I've had the worst case of writer's block ever writing papers. I can't imagine what it's like to write a script for a multi-million-dollar franchise. You know. So until that happens, I can't be that heavy on them. You know, everybody's a critic. You know, everyone's like, oh, well, you know, this should have been done better. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling that. I was like, all right, cool. What would you have done? You know, if you really are that good at it, you should be out there doing it. Like, the world's missing out on you as a director. But you didn't do it because Gareth Edwards did it. So, you know, deal with it. Read him and weep. But there's just so much good stuff in this. And George Lucas loves this movie. And I'm going to tell you why George Lucas loves this film. George Lucas loves this movie because it's original. George Lucas loves this movie because it's original. And I think, and that's not to say that George Lucas doesn't like J.J. Abrams. I think what upset George Lucas last year about The Force Awakens was the fact that no one took any risk. And I think that Disney played it safe, J.J. Abrams played it safe, all of them played it safe because this was a movie that needed to be successful. Whoops. This is a movie that needed to be successful, and they had to bring in their cash cow. And the most original thing that they had to do was be original, was stay safe and stay true to the other movies. This movie, on the other hand, I feel like George Lucas liked because it was so original. Gareth Edwards took a risk. The directing crew in this movie took a risk. Like, you gotta understand something. Like, there were two directors for this film. Like, there was a person that was paid to come in. I forgot his name. There was a person that was paid to come in and finish that third part or finish the ending in something like that. George Lucas pretty much did that first movie by himself. I mean, yeah, he's had like screenplay writers and all that type of stuff, but he pretty much did that movie by himself. He didn't have Disney. He didn't have like any of that. The man fought hard to get his idea off the paper. The original Star Wars itself is an original train of thought. That's why it was so successful. And that's why George Lucas likes this movie. I feel like George Lucas' blessing on this film is what puts it over for me. There's just so much to be excited for in this era of Star Wars. You live in a time now where you have access to everything. You have TV shows, you have cartoons, you have movies that come out every single year. We just had 2 Star Wars movies out in a year's time. Take that with a grain of salt, man. I think they really care for these films. They really appreciate these movies. I'm not worried about it. You know, I can't wait to see episode 8. Or anything like that. Because this is fantastic, man.
Imperial fighter locking on you.
Heavy fire going down! Missile coming in on your position.
And that movie makes me want to play this game. Like, this movie makes me want to play Battlefront, dude. Like, I have no idea why, but like, it's as soon as I got out, I was like, I gotta play as Vader. It just rip stuff up, man.
Target another exposed subsystem. Let's take this destroyer down. Shake that missile.
All wings, target the Imperial fighters.
This is Green 6, standing by.
But yeah, I'm making this stream to talk about this movie. Hopefully get some people in here. If not, that's fine. I've already discussed what I wanted to discuss with this film, plus a little bit more. I might go into a little bit more detail as time goes on as to what I liked about this film. I mean, I thought the way that they implemented Red Squadron, Red Leader and Gold Leader in that film, and they have a Blue Squadron. They have a Red Squadron, Blue Squadron, and they tell you why Blue Squadron was not at the Battle of Yavin. Now, cinematically, the reason why Luke's original X-wing was supposed to be blue. It was supposed to be Blue Squadron. But because of the technology at the time and the blue screen that they were using, they weren't able to do that. So they used the red on the X-wing. Now you get Blue Squadron in this movie. There is an original Red 5 before Luke comes that gets wiped out in this battle. So, man, it's just so good. That third act, you're going to hear it a lot. You're going to hear it a lot on YouTube. That third act, you're going to hear a lot from a lot of movie reviewers. That third act is unbelievable. It is the greatest third act ever. That thing is solid. It saves the movie. It makes the movie and saves it. So, just so fantastic.
Assault team, we can't abandon this R2 unit to the Imperials. Locate it in the detention center and escort it back to the extraction point.
See who we got here.
Dengar, the bounty hunter,
I might use her. I like Luke. Time to get the New Hope. I don't know. DICE said they were supposed to have a new Death Star skin. Haven't seen it yet, so I don't really know. I don't know what DICE is doing. I don't know what they're doing, but get on that, because Luke didn't wear this until the second Death Star. I've just seen, like, I'm seeing Rogue One. I'm ready to mess somebody up with a lightsaber. It's on. It's on. Like they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. No idea what's going on right now. None. Go get it. None. just mowing them down, bro. Yo. Dude, that was the best I've ever done in my entire life. Playing this game. That was crazy. Just mow through them. That was insane, man. It's just I took out the whole garrison. Oh man, that's crazy. Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Here's the thing. Like, Rogue One scene with Vader, man. That as soon as I went home, I was like, I gotta play as Vader. Like, I gotta do something. If I was playing on the Imperial side, I'd be Darth Vader right now. That's how pumped I am from that movie. It's crazy, man. You will never see another Darth Vader like that again. Let's see what we got. Well, you got all right. They're heading up there near Vader, so you know what's gonna happen. You've seen Rogue One; he's itching to do that. Oh man, Vader's gonna ruin them. They all ran towards him too. That's the thing. It's like, did you just see Rogue One? Because that doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
One less bounty hunter.
All right, let's get to this cargo ship. Cutscenes gotta be done a little better.
The Death Star has an exposed exhaust port at the end of that trench. Go in full throttle and take it out.
They're locking with a missile. Enemy fighter right behind you. Look out, homing missile.
There's no way he can follow me with the style of flying that I got. He can't get me. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. About to get the real Red 5. About to get him. Let's go. Dude, Rogue One just magnifies all this stuff, man. Like it makes the original trilogy so brand new again. It makes it feel fresh. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. In the next coming months, man, I'm telling you, people are gonna be. Hopefully, the movie makes bank. Keep making them. Oh no. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. Messed up.
Bridge Antilles is here. Here come the TIE fighters. Cut them off.
It just makes what Luke did more special. Like it makes episode 4 more special. It changes everything about that movie. Which, if a movie is able to do that, like if a movie makes you want to go home and rewatch A New Hope, like the way Rogue One did. Like when I watched episode 3 made me want to go home and watch A New Hope. But it was so distant because it was like a 19-year gap. This Rogue One movie makes me want to go home and watch A New Hope. Yeah, wiped out by Vader in this one. Like, it makes me want to go home and watch A New Hope. Like, this was the second viewing last night. I went home and watched it. And it felt so fresh. It felt new. Like, this movie's almost 40 years old. Give another week or so. Another week, couple months, be 40 years old. It felt so new watching it after that movie. Like, I've never felt that way about a Star Wars film ever before. Like, you know, even when The Force Awakens came out, when I watched Return of the Jedi and all that type of stuff. It felt so new. And man, if a movie can make you do that, then I don't know, man. This is where it's at. This is a great time to be a Star Wars fan. This is a great time to be alive.
Going after the exhaust port. Form up for...
Red 5 is here. Luke Skywalker has joined the fleet. Clear the path for our fighters in the trench.
Red 3 has arrived.
I wish the X-Wings were faster in this game. Really do. Because I love playing as X-Wings. Oh man, if I pull... Oh no. I was going to pull it off. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's dizzy. Oh, that's dizzy.
TIE fighters have wiped
That
out
is
the squad
dizzying.
targeting the port. Yet
Dizzying.
Fly cover for our fighters making their attack run.
Darth Vader is out there. Watch out for his TIE advanced.
TIEs have taken out our fighters in the trench. We need to set up for another run.
You're nearly there.
Nice shooting.
Take out the TIEs targeting our fighters in the trench. Prepare for another run. Surprise attack. We need to keep their fighters away from our Star Destroyer.
Hey, whoever just came in, welcome to the stream. I have the discussion open if you want to talk about Rogue One. I spent like the first 30 to maybe an hour talking about Rogue One. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but this is a spoiler-filled discussion, review / whatever type of thing. So if you If you have anything you want to talk about, be sure to leave a comment. Talk if you want. Biggest disappointment in this game was I wish they would have had more skins. That's one. Two, I wish they would have had more ability to fly as other ships. I don't understand why they did that. This is beating a dead horse at this point. But, God, man, open this game up. That's all I gotta say. Open this game up. You got the Star Wars. I said this in my gaming kitchen video. You have the Star Wars universe right now that is as open and as massive as it's ever going to be. Open this bad boy up and see what people can do. See what can be done. You know what I mean? See what can be done. You can't fail if you never try. You know what I mean? So it's like, open it up, man. And people are getting into the Galactic Empire now. You know, it's been a long time since people got into this. Open it up. Next year is going to be episode 8, and you know episode 8 is going to bring the hype. So open it up. And we're going to be getting out of this era for a little bit. And I don't think anybody can get over Darth Vader, though. I'm hearing everybody talk about this film, and I said it earlier. I'll say it again, man. Everyone has been talking about this movie. And as soon as they walk out the movie theaters, the initial expression is, I got to go see A New Hope. So, I don't know what the future brings, but I'm telling you, right now, in the next 2 days, this movie's fantastic. That's all I got to say. And if you got a problem with it, I feel bad for you, son, because I got 99 problems and Rogue One ain't one. You know, that's a little redundant. Not to think about abbreviating that. See if I can get this here.
I'll deal with it.
Still interested as to what this planet is, or if it is a planet at all in the Star Wars universe.
Our Star Destroyer has lost a subsystem. Push those rebels back.
But now thinking about it, I've been meaning to talk about this. I don't know if the people are still watching this in here, but I wanted to ask them too. How many viewers we got? We got 2 people watching now. I don't know what age you guys are, but if you think about it, I've been meaning to talk about this because now that Rogue One's out, and Battlefront's been out, I don't know if anybody else has brought this up, but I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty and talk about it now. Battlefront, from what I've seen in Battlefront in regards to these Y-Wings, and what I saw in Rogue One when they struck the shield gate. It's starting to make me scratch my head and think, did Battlefront know a lot of stuff that we didn't know? Because the sniper rifle that's in this game, and as soon as this game is over with, in fact, it's laggy. Let me quit this thing right now, because I want to make some people think on my stream. We're gonna make some people. Y'all come into the gaming kitchen. I'm gonna make you think a little bit, but it's gonna be a good type of thing. It's not like do your homework type of thing. I want to talk about something here because it didn't dawn on me until just now again. Let's take a look at this. I want to show these people who are looking at this stream right now, because there's two right now. Hopefully, be a little bit more. Thank you for stopping in right now. It's gonna be a fun night. We're gonna be talking about this Star Wars movie. If you've seen Rogue One, cool. If you haven't, get out of here because I'm gonna be talking about stuff. So I don't like spoiling movies for people. I like people to go and get their money's worth. Let's take a look at this. Talk about the equipment we got here. Okay. I want to see if Rogue One was on to something, and Battlefront was on to something. Because if you think about it, okay, this gun right here, this rifle, the DLT-19, was held and carried by the Death Troopers in that beginning scene. Okay, they were carried by them in that scene. All right, the next gun that was seen in this movie was the T-21, which was seen in A New Hope. Okay, all right, seen in A New Hope, and this one, the SE-14C. Was a blaster pistol that is Imperial equipped. Now this blaster, I'll tell you the truth, I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan. I know all this stuff. The last time this blaster was seen, okay, if my memory serves me correct, was in a Star Wars visual dictionary back in the day. All right, before the prequels came out, there was an original trilogy one. This was held by a stormtrooper. Okay. The last time this gun was seen in a movie, the first time this gun was seen in a movie was Rogue One. And guess who held this gun? It was the what was it TK20? What's his name? I don't want to mess his name up. Check him out real quick. It makes you think for a little bit, because if you follow where I'm going with this. TK20. It's the Rogue One. All I know is his toys are going to be brought off the shelves, because that robot was amazing in the movie. Fantastic. K2SO, my mistake. K2SO. I want to get that right. K2SO. The blaster gun that was given to K2SO in Rogue One is this one. Okay? Same amount of burst, same amount of everything. Now think back to this when this game first came out. Why some of these guns were picked? Didn't know. Alright. Let's go to another one. DLT-19X. This looks like the one in which the Death Trooper had on a Scarif Beach when they were taking sniper shots at the Rebellion. Makes you think. Maybe Battlefront was on to something. Maybe Battlefront knew a lot more than what we thought they knew. You know what I mean? Just a tad bit more. Like, look at this gun, the EE4. All this stuff had a purpose in this game. But now you're starting to look at it now a little bit less. I guess somebody left, because I guess they didn't want to be spoiled. Makes you think. And look at the way Vader moved in that movie. And the move and the gestures that he did when he was choking people and all that stuff, and he was kept going. Like, I remember Battlefront came out talking about DICE came out talking about, like, after this patch, after this Rogue One patch, Vader's gonna be able to do more, and it made me think, like, interesting. Because if you look at the moves that Vader has in this game, like, he does it where he lifts his fist up and clutch the fist up and all that stuff. He does that in the movie. In a saber strike. So, makes you think. Maybe they knew something we didn't know. It didn't dawn on me until after watching that movie. Same person left because I was about to go into Rogue One mode. It says here, Rogue One blast off with 71 million first day. That's crazy. About. I tell you one thing, if I could do it, I'd add some more to it. I'm about to go see it a couple of times. I like this, man. Look at the ships. Look at the ships. Look at the ships. Look at the ships. Beautiful. This is the one DLC that honestly Battlefront did right in this game, other than Bespin. Because Death Star makes no sense. How in the world you have Death Star? This is what bothers me about the Death Star. Okay. You have the Death Star, right? The Death Star is Death Star 1. There shouldn't be A-Wings. If Scarif has only TIE fighters and X-Wings in it, and Y and U-Wings, it shouldn't have that in it. So that's just my little shore troopers and all that stuff. Death Star blows all this stuff up. But I tell you one thing: if Death Star could not destroy these plants, look at how indestructible these plants are. Now the Death Star wiped out the Scarif base. Okay, I guarantee you everything blows away except these plants. Look at how strong these plants are. Crazy. With plants like that, you don't need cement. The best part about Rogue One is that it's based in this realism where it's like the Empire did not expect this to happen. They did not. They really. It's basically their Pearl Harbor. Like, if you look at historically, it's their Pearl Harbor, where, like, they did not expect to be struck the way that they were. Now, if you read the first crawl of, oh, man, give me that TIE Striker. I like it. Took out Blue Squadron and moved, I'll take it. Now, if you they did not expect to get hit. Like, Vader was chilling on Mustafar when it happened. That's what, it's this Zero Dark 30 type of thing. That's why I say people don't understand this movie. You gotta look at it from a different point of view. You gotta have an open mind when you see this. It's like a Zero Dark 30 type of movie, where it's like this heist thing. Vader was chilling on Mustafar, and he was he told Krennic, I was like, look, I don't want, paraphrase, like, look, don't say nothing about this Death Star stuff. All right, like, it was a factory explosion, crap happened, people died, leave it at that. It was a top secret project. It took them 20 years to get this thing done. Took them 20 years. So from the end of Revenge of the Sith to the beginning of Rogue One, it took them nearly 20 years to get that thing fixed. Like, it wasn't even fully paid off yet. Not in the slightest paid off yet. And Krennic built that thing. Worked with it, engineered it, and all that type of stuff. And Tarkin came in and was like, "Yeah, good job, but it's mine. You may fire if we're ready." Oh, God. Oh, it's a great movie. I'm going to see it about at least a good 2 more times. I'm going to go to a nice movie theater, bro, and I'm going to get me some chicken strips, and I'm going to get me a glass of Merlot, and I'm going to sit my butt up there, and I'm going to watch that movie. That's what I'm going to do. With that surround sound, man. They got these movie theaters now where you got the recliner seats. You want to talk about the gaming kitchen? Let's talk about the movie kitchen. They got these movie theaters now, boy, where you can order your food sitting down. Why? They got recliners, man. Recliners. You can recline back and watch a movie. You got cup holders. You got M&Ms. M&Ms are fresh. Not that stale stuff. Let me tell you something. Let's see who's watching this. There's how many people are in here right now? There are people are in here right now.
We tapped into a rebel
I love
broadcast.
talking to people, dude. I don't care. I'll talk to people. You want me to talk, I'll talk. Give a nice conversation
To
here.
shut them down.
Talk to folks. The world needs more people to talk. Talk it out. There's one watching right now. Okay, cool. To the one person, I'll talk. There was this, I went to this movie theater, I think yesterday. And sat up there and had me one of the best appetizers. This thing might as well have been a meal. I sat up there and ate this thing. They call it a buffalo chicken sliders. Buffalo chicken sliders. I'm getting hungry talking about it. This thing was fantastic. Okay, like the bread was nice and soft. You had the buffalo chicken wasn't too strong. Oh, it was so good. They had rosemary fries, man. These rosemary fries, straight up fries with rosemary shaking onto them, boy. And I'm sitting up here waiting for this movie, and I'm telling you, this is the first time in my life I had to make a split decision. I was like, I either order something else, or I take my butt in this movie theater to see this movie. Oh my goodness, man! And then on top of that, it gave me a free small bag of popcorn. Okay. Now, the free small bag of popcorn, it's not like those bags of chips where you buy in the store and you get more air than the chips. This was like a medium-sized bag of popcorn. You could butter your own popcorn. I said, this is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I mean, dude, movie theaters are not the way they were when I was a kid. When I was a kid, the luxury item was nachos with hot cheese or popcorn. I started flipping out when I said, damn, I said, you could eat a burger in a cinema? Man, I was getting chicken strips and waffle fries, dude. I said, dude, this is crazy. Anyone in here from Reddit, thanks for stopping by. If anybody want to talk about the movie, go ahead. I was just sharing my little movie theater story experience. If anybody got theirs, share it, whatever.
The rebels are trying to sabotage one of our cargo ships. Find and disarm them.
I'll tell you, man, dude, I love a good chicken strips, man. I love a good pair of chicken strips. Nothing beats some chicken strips, man. You get some hot chicken strips with a nice crisp on it and some garlicky fries or something like that, and I'm watching a movie, dude, I am gone. Gone sauce, dude. It is. Dude come out and like, do you want more sauce for your fries? Like, does Santa wear red? Yeah, I want some. Okay. I am so hungry talking about these rosemary fries right now, dude. I could kill for some rosemary fries. I could straight up Vader kill the rebellion right now for some waffle fries. Straight up win this match for some waffle fries. Waffle fries with a little bit of crab dip on it, a little crab and a little melted cheese. This is the gaming kitchen, so I talk about food. Talk about food too. Yeah, Rogue One, man, good movie. And it gives explanations to like why you don't see the Shadow Troopers, why you don't see TIE Strikers, why you don't see those things, because the planet blew up. It's like they use one reactor core, and to anybody who's wondering why the planet didn't blow up like the way it did in New Hope, well, the Death Star only used 30% of the first reactor core. Like, they only used 30% of the reactor core, so they only used one of them. They didn't use the whole thing. So, basically what you saw was the Death Star using 30% of its full power. Now, when you get to A New Hope, and it blows up the planet, that is a Death Star that is at full maximum power. Okay? Full maximum power. Now, you go to Return of the Jedi with the Death Star 2. The purpose of that Death Star wasn't to be completed. It was to be fully operational. That thing was fully operational. The Rebellion didn't know that. They were going to strike them again.
The rebels are trying to destroy one of our cargo ships. disarm their explosives.
But to be quite honest with you, if I was the Empire, that was stupid to build a second Death Star. Like, your first one got blown up. You know, your first one got blown up. You know, you're going to double down on a bad decision. It's no wonder they, oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, where did that emblem come from before? That's an Easter egg right there, buddy. These are the Kyber crystals that was extracted for the Death Star. That's the Project Death Star right there. That's it. That's the logo that's on Galen Erso's scientific uniform. Look at that. It's a little tidbits that you see when you play this, when you play the game and you look at the movie. It's amazing. My mind's blown from that movie. I am.
An explosive device on one of our cargo ships. Locate that
I've never
bomb
seen
and
Darth
ship it
Vader
down.
wreak havoc like the way he did. And I felt like he was going to do it. I even said it on the stream. I said, I feel like he's going to wreak havoc. But saying it, expecting it, and seeing it are two different things. That was amazing how he did what he did. Like, he did prequel moves in that. Like, he was twirling that lightsaber around, and nobody ever got to see him do that. Like, every time you see Darth Vader in the movies, he's this stoic, rickety person who's like, oh, okay, it's Darth Vader. But this dude didn't hold back. This isn't a Darth Vader that was trying to save his son. This isn't a Darth Vader who's trying to, like, protect himself from Obi-Wan Kenobi. This was a straight-up Darth Vader that was in his prime and was full of piss and vinegar. And this dude was not having it. He's like, you're in my way. Give me your blaster. You're done, son. You're done. It's over. It's just fantastic, man. Star Wars Critic 2003. How's it going? Just sitting up here talking about Rogue One. If you want to join in, have you seen it? If you have, you can ask some questions or something. I feel like I can maybe answer them or something. 'Cause I know we've seen the movie. Things go by in a flash. Oh, you sub? Well, thank you for subbing, man. I tell you what, man. I love talking about Star Wars. I love Star Wars is life for me. So, you know, especially not that. Did you see Star Wars, Craig? Have you seen Rogue One yet? I hope you have, because you know I'm just going to talk about Rogue One. Or anything else Star Wars. In case if you are wondering, because I do know Darth Vader's castle was in the EU. It was a drawn concept. Look how strong these trees are. Look at this. The C3POs. Well, C3PO was. I mean, I think they put C3PO in there. Well, here's the thing. It makes sense that C3PO and R2D2 is on Yavin 4. Okay, it makes sense about that. Where people are getting caught up on. Okay, and if you agree with me if you can, if I'm on point. Where people are coming confusion with C-3PO in this movie is how does he and R2-D2 get from there to the Rebellion Corvette, the Tantive 4, they call it. I think it's Tantive or Tantive, whatever. I always have problems pronouncing that. Right. I'm just going to think, I don't think it's that difficult, to be honest with you. I think that it's the fact that the thing about Star Wars movies, here's the thing. The thing about Star Wars movies is that Star Wars movies is very bad when it comes to transferring time. You know what I mean? Star Wars movies is very bad when it comes to transferring time. Because The Empire Strikes, I'll give you an example. Empire Strikes Back is a movie that takes weeks. Okay? Weeks. Like Luke was in Dagobah for at least almost a month. Okay? In between the time. But if you watch the movie, it's like it happened back to back to back to back to back. Star Wars movies is very bad when it comes to transferring time. Like, because you're so lost in the sauce. I think what happened was, all right, what happened first? All right, you had Jin's crew. Jin's crew got into that freighter, that Imperial freighter, snuck off, did their thing. Okay? In between that time, all right, you have Mon Mothma figure out the fact that the rebels are on the beach. Okay? Then it pans to C-3PO and R2-D2 talking about what is this scarif? How come I'm left out of the mix? I don't know whatever's going on, right? And between that time, I mean, we don't know how much time passed. We don't know. The only thing we have time about in this movie is that the movie begins 4 years after Revenge of the Sith. It ends 10 minutes before A New Hope. So she could stop by Yavin for. I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, I just feel like people just overthink some things sometimes. It's like movies have to, unless a movie comes out and says 14 minutes later, you're not going to know the time point. You know, it's just like if you look at Dark Knight Rises, like Dark Knight Rises take place over a course of months. But if you look at the film without knowing that, it's like, how did Bruce Wayne heal so fast? How did Bruce Wayne get from here to there? The same thing for this. You know? I mean, like, who knows? Like, Bail Organa left. He said he had in mind somebody. I guarantee you, Princess Leia was on Alderaan. He got the Corvette ready. Stopped by after that. Picked up them 2 droids. Dipped. And she was at Scarif.
Don't let the rebels take the control point.
And begins Episode 4. Which, by the way, ends so good. So beautiful the way that movie ends. It's so... And it's no fan service. It's delicious fan service that's done. Because it's done right. You know? It's done so right. The character development, I understand where you're coming from with the character development. It does feel like that the characters were a tad bit rushed. The hallway scene, yeah. It's one of the, I'm telling you right now, dude, that Vader scene is one of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars history. Star Wars has a few iconic scenes in it that if you look at it, you remember it. That is one of them. Instant classic. I don't care what anybody says. You know, A New Hope, if you remember A New Hope, the most iconic scene in A New Hope is that Star Destroyer coming from overhead. Okay? Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader at the top of the steps. You know? Rogue One, Darth Vader standing at that corridor with that lightsaber. I'm going to tell you something, man. This is why I love going to the movies. Because the movie theater is about bringing people together, and it's about the reactions of other people. And you're living off of that. When people saw that, they were so speechless. Yeah, they were speechless in a movie theater. I was speechless when I saw Tarkin. I was speechless when I saw Leia, and I was speechless when I saw Vader. Because I'm telling you, man, I'm a 28-year-old man. I wasn't around when the original trilogies came out initially. But I was there to collect the toys. And my number one toy was Darth Vader. And I'm telling you, I don't collect toys anymore because I'm a little bit too old for it because I don't have the time for it that much anymore. But I made the exception to the rule for Vader. I picked up Vader from Toys R Us. It was about $6.75. I said, this is weird. He's got a lightsaber on. I said, I don't think he's going to be doing anything in this movie. Boy, was I wrong. Dude, that breathing, man, and that scene cuts to black, and you see that lightsaber come on, and the pose that he's in is so good. That dude, and they're just blasting. He's just bouncing this crap off, and it's just pew, 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 and it's hitting people. He's grabbing people and just slamming people and cutting them in half. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. It's like, I was like, is it bad that I'm rooting for Vader? Well, I mean, I don't think it was the fact that it gave up. I think it was the fact that they realized they weren't going to make it out. So the best thing to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure Disney has taken them all down. Disney doesn't mess around. I've been on YouTube. Let me tell you something, man. I've been on YouTube for years and years. I've seen that stuff happen a lot of times where people film stuff from movies and everything, and movie theaters and companies don't play around. Especially, these people are so dumb. I mean, not like, I'm not saying I condone it. I'm saying your stuff don't last long if you're an idiot and you upload something that you filmed in a movie theater. Okay, you film it in a movie theater. You upload it, and you call it the exact thing that you're uploading. Like these people call it Darth Vader Rogue One scene in the movie. And I'm like, are you really shocked that Disney slammed down on you and Lucasfilm slammed down on you? Like, you're joking, right? These companies don't play around, dude. I'm telling you, man. Like, it doesn't count. Like, you know, if I want to see a movie bad, I'll just go to the movie theaters and see it. I'm a type of person, I keep my nose clean and the rest follows. I don't play that crap. Some people do that stuff. Some people do BitTorrents and all that type of stuff. Nah, I don't play that. I don't play that. I either see it in the movie theater or I wait till it gets on video, date myself, till it gets on until I get on Blu-ray or digital download if I want to see it that bad. I don't play that crap. Favorite Star Wars movie when I was I got to break this up in 3 sections. My favorite Star Wars movie as a kid was Return of the Jedi because of the green lightsaber. Green is one of the colors I like. My favorite color is red. Favorite Star Wars movie now has to be Empire Strikes Back. After this is maybe Rogue One. I think Empire Strikes Back is 1A, Rogue One is 1B. It has to be. After look, like, there's no way that you can look at Rogue One and say, in fact, Rogue One is darker than Empire Strikes Back because you know, it's dark. I think now, and I say that, and here's why I'm gonna say it. Retroactively, Empire Strikes Back was darker because Empire Strikes Back came out. Empire Strikes Back came out before the big picture. You know what I mean? Like, we know Han and Luke and Leia survived now because after 1983, you got the big picture. You knew A New Hope, you knew Empire Strikes Back, you know Return of the Jedi. People who went to the movie theaters in 1980 didn't know Luke was going to survive. Didn't know Han was going to survive. Didn't know Leia, didn't know anything. That's what's so exciting about the sequel trilogy, because you don't know what's going to happen. They survived. Rogue One's darker. Everyone dies in the end. Like, it's just if you're not Darth Vader, Mon Mothma, red leader, gold leader, you ain't making it. You ain't making it. And I think that was great. I think that was a big middle finger to all the critics who said that Disney can't make a dark film. That's dark. That movie was dark. Like, there were stormtroopers that were taking shots to the head. And, man, like, that stormtrooper took a straight shot to the head. Like, you've never seen that in a movie before. You know. like straight up wiped out. I mean, you're seeing people getting vaporized by stuff exploding. It was a dark Star Wars movie, and it needed to be. It paved the way. You know, one thing about Rogue One is that Rogue One makes A New Hope feel fresh and brand new. And that's what it did. It made it feel fresh and brand new. Because as soon as I got home and I put in A New Hope, it felt different. You feel the urgency. You feel why Vader's angry. You feel why they're sitting around saying, "Oh, well, the rebels stole the Death Star plans. We'll get them back as soon as possible." It's like they screwed up. They screwed up. Like they screwed up big time. And you read that crawl, and that crawl has more meaning now. You know, they said rebel spies. You know, the rebellion has their first major victory against the Empire. That was it. It was no small world after all, brother. I tell you that, man. That dude was laying. That dude was laying havoc, man. He was working. I've never seen Vader beast that mode. I mean, the last time I seen Vader do something like that was Battlefront. Battlefront, dude. He was laying waste to people, man. That was epic. Epic. That may be the last time we see Darth Vader on the big screen. And if it is, what a way to go out. Because James Earl Jones is in his 80s. And then again, I don't know, man. ILM? I don't put nothing past ILM. They took... Here's what they did with Carrie Fisher. They took Carrie Fisher from the age of 19, from 1977, and put her in this movie. And then used her voice. Like, they cut up a piece, like they used outtakes and stuff and deleted scenes or whatever from A New Hope. And they have her saying hope in her 19-year-old voice. That is, you know, I mean, it was like I was saying earlier. It's like if you got to take yourself away from being a critic and look at this stuff and say, holy crap, this is amazing. Back in the day, that would have been a stand-in actress. That would have been a stand-in actress, and they would have used maybe some stock voice or something, and that would have been the end of it. They were confident. Give ILM credit. They were confident in showing off their work. That was great, dude. I held my hand over my mouth, dude. That was the best 10 minutes of any movie I've ever seen. That's crazy, dude. I'm still in disbelief. I went to see it twice, back to back. That was the first time I ever saw a movie early and got to see a movie on the premiere.
We're taking over a
Vader saying no? Dude, this is a different Vader. You know, this is a Darth Vader that is no longer 23 and just killed Padme and lost everything. This is the Darth Vader that has seen some crap. That castle, dude. That castle was so awesome, man. That scene. Oh. That scene was amazing, dude. None of that. No, there's none of that. It's over. This man is, that was the Darth Vader that people feared in 1977 that we saw on that big screen. I saw Thursday and Friday. That was the Darth Vader that destroyed Jedi. That was the Darth Vader that was the Dark Lord of the Sith. There's a comic book out called Vader Down. And there's an epic part in there where he's on the desert after the ship crashes, after his TIE fighter crashes. And all the rebels are surrounded him. Says, "We have you surrounded." He has his lightsaber ignited. And he says, "All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men." It's crazy, man. That's such an awesome comic book. If you guys are into comic books, read Vader Down. Read that whole... If you don't read any Star Wars comics, read Darth Vader. That is an amazing comic book, man. I've seen so much Vader this year. I'm satisfied. The Vader that I saw in Rebels, the Vader I saw in Vader Down, and this Vader, if I never get to see another Star Wars movie again, I'm happy with what I got. I'm happy. Like, that's just it. You know. If you guys have any good moments from Star Wars, from the new Rogue One movie, let me know, because I tell you, I will most likely agree with you. For what they said, Felicity Jones has a sequel clause in her contract, so she may appear in another movie. Not necessarily a sequel per se, because that ain't happening. But she might be in some other spin-off films or something like that. Who knows? She just might be. Such a great actress. Felicity Jones is a good actress, man. That girl poured her heart out for that film. She can act. She can act. But for 2 hours and 18 minutes, that movie went by so fast in the movie theater. It's not even funny. You just lose track of time. You know, you really do. For all the new people who've come in, thank you for stopping by, making this your destination. I really do appreciate it. Make 10 men feel like 100. So I thank you. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. Let's get this going. I think Donnie Yen's character was amazing. Those were characters that, from the Kurosawa films, that George Lucas loved. And they put that in this movie. The bar has been raised. Star Wars Crick, I will check your channel out. Now that you sub to me, I will check your channel out after this stream. Many member moments from 6 to 8. Hey, man, I tell you what. This is what I think. I think everybody's got opinions. And stuff like that. And, you know, it's just like some people can go. You could bring 10 people in it to try a vanilla cake. Okay? All right? You can try 10 people. 10 people come in and try a vanilla cake. I guarantee you 5 will like it, 5 won't. And out of the 5 that like it, there'll be something else that which the 5 didn't like about it. So, I mean, hey, you know. But that's the beauty of people. Like, this world would be pretty boring if everyone agreed to something. You know, it's like that's why you got chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Like, people like vanilla, people like chocolate. Some people like chocolate, don't like vanilla. It just brings variety. Whether we like to admit it or not, having people around us with different opinions is better than having people around us with the same opinion. Depending upon what it is, because it just adds for fun and variety. That's basically it. Just ask for fun and variety. Me personally, I like the film. I really did. I think that the film provides a lot of stuff that needs to be added, and in the meantime, it gives great leeway for explanations to plot holes. Like, now we know why the Death Star had a port that was in it that was 2 meters wide. I would like to figure out why they thought it was a great idea to build a second Death Star, knowing that the first one didn't work. And then on top of that, they had the plan stolen again. Like the Bothans stole the second Death Star plans. Bothans stole the second Death Star plans. Like, maybe you guys should invest in McAfee, you know? Like, maybe you guys should, you know, get a firewall. Not a very smart empire. If you look at it. Like, if you build an empire on fear, build any form of government on fear, it's not going to last. Because eventually you're gonna threaten people, and people are gonna rise up and rebel. It just so happens in this case and circumstance, they didn't bank on having a offspring of a space wizard that could guide a missile down a daggone port that was 2 meters wide, cause a chain reaction, blow up everything. But they did.
Enemies up ahead.
But the Empire was destined to fail. It was just destined to fail. It's like you first of all, the Sith are selfish people. Emperor Palpatine wanted to be in charge of the Sith and the Empire. He kept Vader on a leash. He was afraid of Vader. Because it's so stupid. It's like, why do you have an apprentice, but you're scared of him succeeding you? Palpatine kind of like, it was covered in Revenge of the Sith. He said it best. He's like, all people who have power are afraid to lose it. You know, so that he did to himself. He marked his own death by creating that type of environment to where, you know, you have this person who's powerful, but you want them to be powerful for your purpose. Empire was just stupid. I mean, on paper it worked, but their overconfidence did them in every single time. And then they doubled down and did the same dumb thing again. It's like, okay, well, the first Death Star didn't work. All right, cool. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to plan a second one and have the plans out there. And he had the plan stolen again. Go figure. You would think making a first mistake would pay off, but my chat is disabled right now. I'm getting back into YouTube so I can see your chats. So stand by. I'll be loading it up right now. Internet goes out on this daggone thing, so it disables the chat for a little bit. Empire is so incompetent. Like, it's like, it is one thing I got from Rogue One. If it's one thing I learned, it's like the Empire is so incompetent. It's so incompetent. It's like Darth Vader was chilling across like in his pad, like taking a bath. And he stole the plans. He had to shoot up in hyperspace to get the Scarif. This is crazy. What a movie, man. I'm blown away, dude. I don't know. I'm like a kid when it comes to those things. Like, I'm just so mesmerized by movies and special effects and all that type of stuff. I can't even be. It takes me so long to be a critic. I can't criticize that stuff. I mean, movies aren't perfect, but no movie is. But you can't walk away from that film and not say, damn, something wowed the hell out of me in that movie. Yeah, I like the backstory too. I really do. I'm telling you, because like when you all right, Star Wars, quick, take care of yourself. When you go and you see this movie, like, it changes everything. It changes everything about and rightfully so. It makes everything more significant. It makes Luke more significant. It makes Han more significant. It really does, and that's a good thing, as it should. You know. Empire or Rebels? Well, the Empire has cooler tools, cooler techniques, but the Rebels always find a way to strike and move. So, I don't know. I would say Rebels because I know how it ends. I know how it ends at the end of the day. And you don't want to be charged as a war criminal.
We did it. They're
So
all down.
I have to go Rebels on that. Empire did some heinous things to people. Like they wiped out species. You know, they wiped out species and everything. Wiped out planets and colonies and stuff. And also, it was started on the wrong note anyway because the Emperor. If you see Rebels, there's an episode in Rebels this year where the clones are fighting the Separatists for one time, and Ezra stands up there and he says what I still to this day think is the most realest crap I've ever heard anybody say in a TV show, animated TV show, or a movie. And he made him think for a second. He was like, wait a minute. He said, wait a minute. So they have you guys fight. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. He said, they have you guys fighting here. He said, wait a minute. So the Jedi were wiped out. The clones were, he said, the robots were deactivated. The battle droids and all of them were deactivated. And the clone troopers were decommissioned. So actually, who won? Who won the Clone Wars? You know? Who won the Clone Wars? If the Jedi fought, the Separatists fought, and the droids fought, and all that stuff, and all the clones and everything. Who actually won the Clone Wars? Because the Clone Wars ended with Order 66, and people were so in such a haste they didn't really realize the lie that they were told, and that's what the Emperor did. Emperor BS people to get power. It's crazy. Like, who really won that? Empire was destined to lose from the get-go. You know, it's like I said before, you build an empire on hate and anger and fear, you're destined to fall at some point. Because someone's going to rise up against you and they're going to take you out. It's just how it goes. You know. Messy. Oh, it's so messy. It's just not a good idea to have a Sith Lord as your CEO. It's just not that good. Like most empires, they have problems with succession. So you have the Emperor at the top, and he's power hungry. He doesn't want to get out of the theme of having power. So then you have this system where it's implemented down and built on fear, where you have a lot of people who are defectors, who are turning against your establishment. And eventually, at some point, they gut themselves out. So when Emperor Palpatine died, and Vader died, basically the Empire dispatched and disbanded into this little civil war thing where the people were fighting amongst each other. It's no different in Rome. Rome did the same exact stuff. They had no successor. And that's what did Rome in. Augustus had no lineage after he died. He gave it to his relatives, and they were a pack of loons. And that's what happened. Reality mixes with fantasy, and fantasy mixes with reality. There's no escaping it.
Lock and load.
Oh, dude, Lando is so powered. Wow. Oh, dude, come on. Oh, got him. Got him.
Let's create an illusion.
I'm still waiting for Battlefront to give more skins for these characters. Like, it makes no sense to have Lando running around indoor with Bespin gear when clearly in Return to the Jedi he had the Alliance gear on him. You know, I mean, looking at Rogue One, it you know, is it as good as the original trilogy? It's a little unfair to measure. I think like the original trilogy themselves is lightning in a bottle. You know, it's never going to be as good as the original trilogy. We need to enjoy it, man. We need to enjoy this thing. You know, you get a Star Wars movie every single year, and they're made by the best directors. They're edited by the best people. They have the best screenwriters. They care about this franchise. You know, it's not like they're making, they're making money off of it. I mean, everyone, here's another thing, too. Like, everyone gets so bent out of shape because they're making money. Oh, they turned Star Wars into a cash cow. Like, last time I checked, you got to pay bills and eat food on this earth and buy clothes and live with, you know, shelter. I don't really think that it's that bad to work for money. I mean, is it a new train of thought? Yeah, but... Oh, it's definitely not good.
Running out of luck.
Nice. I just think like fans are a little unrealistic when it comes to stuff. You know, there's this fan base out here now, and you know they are overly critical and they're very negative and very mean. It's like, all right, cool. You didn't like the prequels. That's great. All right, cool, fine. Force Awakens comes out. The same people that didn't like the prequels don't like Force Awakens. Okay, cool. So you don't like that. Why didn't you like Force Awakens? Force Awakens didn't like because it was not original enough. Which these same people accused the prequels of being too not like Star Wars. So Rogue One comes out. Rogue One comes out, and now these same people who criticized the prequels, hated the prequels, criticized Force Awakens, now complains about Rogue One. I say Rogue One is not original enough. There's just no pleasing people sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want? You know? What do you want? It's like if you hate 70% of the Star Wars universe, like, why are you even a fan? I mean, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me to go out and spend hard-earned money to go see something that you dislike. Right from the bat. And, like, if you had expectations from this movie and you're disappointed, the only person you need to blame is yourself. Like, Gareth Edwards didn't come out and say those things. And everyone's like, oh, well, the trailer's different. That happens all the time. There's always a different trailer. You know? You know, it's like, stop. Like, fans got to start taking responsibility for their own actions sometimes. And maybe sometimes you need to not listen to these clickbait YouTubers and these article writers that come out and talk about how they have sources and stuff, knowing daggone good and well they don't have sources. If they're look, here's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna name names, but you know, let's be real for just a second. Let's be real for just a split second. All these reviews, all these people on YouTube, all these people write articles who talk about sources and they get the leaks and all this stuff. They're not even at the premiere. Who do they know that's a good source to stand up there and risk and jeopardize their job and tell you all this information? Oh, well, I had a source tell me that, Darth Vader's going to be decapitating people and using stormtroopers as shields and all this type of stuff. Maybe, but what happened in the movie? So you have like at least another year, and it's gonna happen for episode 8. It's gonna happen for episode 8. Like, make no bones about it. Like, make no bones about it. It's gonna happen for episode 8. You're gonna have a whole ton of these bait click YouTubers who are talking about, oh, I got a source sources telling me Luke is going to do this, and Leia's going to do that, and Rey's going to be this, and Rey's going to be that, and then people are going to buy it, hook, line, and sinker. And then they're going to go to the movie theater, and then they're going to be pissed off. They're going to be angry because their expectations were not met. First of all, why are you having expectations? Like, what do you expect to happen? Like, did Gareth Edwards come out and say this movie was about Vader? No. So he's making a movie about stealing the Death Star plans, and Vader will be in it. To what extent? Who knows? So then what happens is people walk into the theater, they have these unrealistic expectations, they get pissed off because they have these unrealistic expectations, and then what happens after that is then they get mad and get angry at people, you know, and you have no one else to be mad at but yourself. It's like The Force Awakens. Like everyone says, like, Force Awakens was such a huge disappointment. What was disappointing about The Force Awakens? Like, what was so disappointing about The Force Awakens? It's your fault for having unrealistic expectations. It's like, how in the world is J.J. Abrams going to sit up there and read your mind as to what movie you want? You know, I hate to break it to people, fellow Star Wars fans, but there's a million of you. There's one of him, okay? Same way as it was for George Lucas. It's impossible to appease over a million some people. Like, it's hard to please one person. Like, you're going to try and please countless other people too? Please. Have a little patience. You know, you're living in one of the best eras of Star Wars ever. Give them time. Be patient. When the big picture's done, when episode 8 and 9 are done, when this Han Solo movie's done, it's like, yeah, do I feel like it's necessary to make a Han Solo movie? No. Don't really need to. But in the grand scheme of things, hey, it might be awesome. Give it a chance. You know? The stuff is in the best hands possible. Just calm down a little bit. Chill out. You know? Appreciate what you got. Wow, look at that Star Destroyer. That Star Destroyer is down, son. Oh, my boy, Luke. You know. And it's fine to have an opinion. It's fine to be critical of things. But, like, if you have, like, there's a difference between critiquing and just straight up bashing something because it's not. Like, there are people out here who are fans of Star Wars who really dislike these movies because they're not 1977 and they're not 1980 and they're not 1983 films. They're like, oh, I'll acknowledge this, but I won't acknowledge The Force Awakens. What? There's 7 movies out right now that are episodic films. Get over yourself. It's crazy. You know. Like I went through that earlier today. I was talking about, I said, look, I said, I value people's opinions of that, but your opinions are baseless and they have no facts added to them with that. Like, how in the world, it's like, I don't understand how people can sit up there and critique something. It's like, oh, well, you know, you're bashing somebody. It's like, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm saying, like, you know, your red letter media and all that type of stuff when it comes to, critiquing movies. I said these were the very people who stood up there and criticized the prequels. Now what are they doing? They're criticizing Force Awakens. You just can't please these types of people. These people are like built for negativity. So it's like you don't want to deal with that crap. I'm the type of Star Wars fan where it's like, yeah, okay. You know, okay, maybe the prequels weren't as strong, maybe they didn't have this, maybe they didn't have that, but you know, they're still good movies at the end of the day. I can find some good in them somewhere, but you just got some negative people out here, man, and negative people create a mob mentality, and these negative people jump on the first thing because people cling to negativity faster than they do positivity, and they jump on this stuff and they eat it up with a spoon and they don't stop, and that's what you need to avoid as a Star Wars fan. Like, you got to avoid that. It's not cool to go into that. People came into Rogue One with expectations. And it's foolish. Just enjoy the movie. Stop expecting stuff. Because the more you expect stuff, the more it won't happen, and the more angry you get. And I guarantee you, about 4 or 5 months from now, you're gonna have people pissed off at this movie, like you had people pissed off at The Force Awakens, and it's gonna be the same exact thing over and over. And it's like, oh, this was a disaster. This was this. This was that. It's brutal. It's not this type of film. It's not that type of film. Well, why is it not that type of film? Exactly. Why do you have a type of film to begin with? You didn't make it. You didn't direct it. You didn't put anything into it. So why would you want it to be a certain way? Been waiting. I can't wait to play as this guy. I'm a destroy so much. People get mad when you say that stuff. It's like, oh, like heaven forbid if you have an opinion. There's nothing but fanboys out here. There's nothing but no. There's actually people who go to a movie and actually enjoy the film for what it is, and they don't sit up there and try to find things that are negative for it. Like people don't understand. Like people just don't understand in this world that you gotta find a common ground or something.
It is useless to resist.
They'll take you down like any other man.
Well, like, people don't understand. It's all about negative energy, and it's all about positive. It's about what you put out in the world. And if you go out there and you put negative energy out there, you're going to get negative energy back. Don't expect positivity. Like, it's just a movie at the end of the day, but it's an amazing movie. Now, I'm not fanboying it up. I think the soundtrack could have used a little bit of work. I think that there's some certain things with that, but I think there's a difference between sitting down and critiquing a movie and just altogether hating it because it's not something that you agree with. And I think that's the problem in today's society when it comes to reviewing movies and looking at games and stuff like that, where it's this mob mentality, where it's like, people just don't know how to discern the difference between hating something because it's negative and just reviewing something. Like, you got to find a common ground there, and if you can't find that common ground, I don't know what to tell you.
Essential personnel must be protected from the rebels.
I just don't understand the expectations thing. It's like I don't understand like what you're expecting. Well, I was expecting more Darth Vader. Why? Why would you expect more Darth Vader? When they said Darth Vader is going to show up in most important parts. Can't make a you movie. There's like millions of people out here. Well, one person like other people don't. So gotta get over yourself. You know what I mean? World don't revolve around you. To be honest with you, when Empire Strikes Back came out, people didn't like that. People did not like the Empire Strikes Back when it came out. They bashed it because it was doom and gloom and everything. The very same thing they praise it for today, they doom and gloom. Now, it made money in the box office. It made money, obviously. But the reception that it's got now was not the way it was in 1980. So, time tells a lot of things. And if you tell people long enough to hate something, they're going to hate it. Because people love to be accepted. People love the prequels. Oh, man, you hate the prequels? You like the prequels? Wow. Like, there are 17-year-olds out here now that hate Episode 1. Like, bro, you weren't even born when the movie came out. Like, what are you talking about? Like, your opinions are not even opinions. They're based upon what other YouTubers and other people have said because you want to be popular and hate a movie. That's not cool. I can respect people who go to a movie theater and can critique a film and pick things out on it. I cannot respect the opinion of somebody who goes to a movie and just follows what somebody else tells them because it's popular and it's cool. And that's unfortunate in this society. It ruins a lot of stuff. Like, there's a difference between having an opinion and just, There's just a difference between having an opinion and stuff and just, you know, following the trend.
This will cut you down.
PSN code for what, my man? PSN code for free lunch? What are you offering? I am hungry. Is that PSN code for them rosemary fries? Because brother hungry over here, man. Use some of them. Talking about Rogue One. So if you got some Rogue One stuff, you want to talk about that movie, be sure to share it. Otherwise, what's up? A lot of spam comments and bots these days. I don't even know why. I don't even know how in the world people do that stuff. It's just this thing about expectations that I don't like. It's like I don't get. And people have it in games and everything. Like people sit up there and like, oh, I don't like this game. This game had this. This game had that. Why would it not have it? Like, why do you expect for it to? You haven't seen it? All right, well, hey, man, you know, it's like in the title, it says Battlefront Rogue One movie discussion stream spoilers. So, I mean, if you hear something that you get angry at because it's not like I didn't tell you. So. Well, I mean, if you haven't seen it, but you have an opinion of the movie, it's not validated. It's just like me saying I hate sushi, but I've never had sushi. Well, of course you want spoilers, because you're the type of person who would spoil the movie for other people who didn't see it. Come on, man. How could you? My question to you is how could you not? I went through this earlier this morning with somebody. Like this person was like went on like an all-out debate about what I wrote about these fans and the negativity, and the woman didn't even see the movie. I'm like, you mean to tell me I'm sitting up here having this discussion with you, an argument which I didn't even really care for. Like, how in the world am I sitting up here talking to you and you haven't even seen the movie? Like, well, why are you commenting on this? It's just crazy. No, I don't give out spoilers unless people seen it. If you want to see the movie, if you've seen the movie and you want to talk, that's fine. But like, if you haven't seen it, nah, go see the movie. Go and see the movie. Experience it for yourself. That's how I roll. That's my rule.
I won't stop until you're finished. I will not condemn the galaxy to an eternity of submission. You'll have to do better than that.
You think the movie's garbage. I mean, hey, well, I mean, but you haven't seen it. I like that. That's confusing. I don't understand that. Like, you think the movie's garbage, that's fine. But like, if you went to see the movie and then you thought the movie was garbage, okay, cool. But you haven't seen the movie. How do you know it's garbage? That makes no sense to me. See, and these are the exact same types of people that I'm talking about. Like, it's like those types of people that go out and write articles and say this movie's not fun, this movie's not this. And like, oh, did you see the movie? No. Okay, well, why are you talking about the movie? I don't know, man. It's a crazy world we live in, dude. With crazy people. That's all I gotta say. To each their own, I guess. I can't live like that. Lord Vader. Well, hey, man, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Best wishes to you on your journey, bruh. Take that PSN code with you. I don't know what that was for as well. Oh, boy. Nobody's talking.
They're all defeated.
I wish you well, man. I don't with that train of thought, bro. I don't know how far you'll get in life, but good luck to you. May the force be with you. Sheesh. Guy comes in, says the movie's garbage, but didn't even go see it. Like, I don't get that. I don't know. Some people just like starting stuff. Some people have that negative energy about them where they just like to come in and they just like to wreak havoc. You won't get that here, brother. I tell you that straight up. My channel ain't about that. I'll tell you what the Gaming Kitchen's about. Gaming Kitchen is about talking, eating, explaining, discussing. Whoever wants to come by and talk can come by and talk. You don't, that's cool. I don't take it personal. I don't take nothing wrong with it. That's how I roll. I'm a live and let live type person. I'm way too old to be stressing out about stuff I can't control. There we go. He has been banned. He shall go. Get that negativity out. Put the ban hammer on him. Ban hammer. Bam. His name will go unmentioned. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was just, he's obviously here to start trouble. I ain't got time for that. Still can't go. It said the movie was crap, but he didn't even see the movie. What? Make sense out of your life.
Whatever it takes, keep our rebel heroes safe. Oh man, he left a dislike too. That's bad.
You got negative people in this world, man. That's the way it is, dude. They're negative people. They get on the internet and they hide behind their usernames and they hide behind that anonymity, and they just run the town, dude. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you can either be a positive force in this world or you can be a negative force. Pick your flavor. You know, you can either give people peace or give people havoc. So, whatever. He's blocked now. He can go on his life. I wish him well. I don't curse nobody. I send you on your way. Be lit like tequila and a chicken strip. That's how I look at it. To the 3 people who are now in here, thank you for sticking by. I hope that this was entertaining for you. I love talking about Star Wars and talking about Star Wars movies and stuff like that. I don't know, man. This is a happy time that we're living in, dude. You know, if you're a part of it, it's fun. There's Star Wars everywhere, and I love it. I don't have enough of it. Anyone over here from Reddit, thank you for stopping by, too. I love Reddit. I love the big shout out to, by the way, the Star Wars Battlefront Reddit channel. I want to get their names right while I'm on here. See what they are. They are reddit.com/r/Star Wars Battlefront. I love this Reddit page. They are magnificent. They have a lot of good stuff in their page. A lot of good discussions. So I figured to give them a shout out. I send a lot of video highlights their way and everything. They could ban and block, but they don't. They stick with it and support. I met a lot of cool people on that channel. To them, thank you very much for tonight's stream.
You are still no match for me.
Disciplined for an
Oh, wow. Didn't even see her use that gun in the movie, which is very interesting. Didn't get to see her use that.
They've wiped them all out.
I'm going to play this round and then we're going to wrap this stream up. No. Get ready for another video coming. I'm going to be doing Battlefield. And then head back over to my neck of the woods, Rainbow Six. I'll be doing that real soon. Some future gameplay. But I'm feeling the Star Wars hype right now, so I'm all about that. Oh, wait, these are royal guards. Those royal guards were the ones that were by Vader in that Bacta tank, man. And I remember watching it. I was like, was that the Emperor in the Bacta tank? Yeah, was that the Emperor? Initially, we thought that the only time the Emperor's royal guards are seen are when the Emperor is nearby, but that's not the case. Apparently, he was assigned some royal guards to protect him while he's in that Bacta tank. So that's interesting. That's something new. Which, by the way, the only time before now, the last time that the Emperor guards were seen was in Revenge of the Sith near the end. But initially it was Return of the Jedi. So that's also pretty cool. A lot of prequel references, a lot of original. My final thought on Rogue One is this. I always say if you're going to see a movie, the first time you see a movie, you're lost in the sauce. Meaning that you miss things go by in a blast. The second time you go back to see a movie, you're trying to piece it all together. You're trying to pace it yourself. The third time you go back to see it, you're a veteran of it now. You're starting to look for things. You're starting to see pacing and everything like that. It's just the way the human body works. Like whenever you're introduced to something first, it goes fast, and then you process it. I think Rogue One is a good film because it can stand on its own. I think it's done so beautifully that it blends into A New Hope. It's a practical purpose that this movie serves. And it does so very well. And I think, me personally, it's on par with The Empire Strikes Back. Because it's very dark. It has a lot of memorable things in it.
What was I supposed to do?
A lot of character. And for that, you have to give it some credit because it doesn't have 3 movies to piece it all together. It doesn't have 3 years to piece it all together. All this is just 1 year of a movie. So, I love the film. And I think that as the months are going on, because we're only 2 days into this movie being out, I think as the months go on in a year, we're going to remember how epic this movie was in the theaters. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't forget it. I also wouldn't forget that buffalo chicken that I had, too. Them buffalo chicken sliders was amazing.
Personnel protected from the rebels.
There's a sand crawler. I think, me personally, I think that there's a lot of... I wouldn't be surprised if they take this movie out and they're probably editing it right now for a DVD or Blu-ray release. It's not the first time that that's happened. The last time it happened was with Revenge of the Sith, where George Lucas got it back and he did a couple of edits. He did a couple of edits with the with the sequences between Mustafar and Obi-Wan leaving and stuff like that. So that wouldn't shock me. An artist is never done with their work. So very interesting in seeing where the Star Wars goes in this movie. Because who knows, man? They'll take that movie back out and they will do an overlay on that special effects and stuff and make that movie look different than anything by the time it gets home to Blu-ray. So that's it. Well, guys, I am wrapping this up. I would like to thank all the viewers who came by. There were at least about a good 10 to 11 people who came by. Thank you very much for your stream views. Thank you very much for your support. Special thanks to the Battlefront Reddit for allowing me to post on their thread to get some people to come over here and talk this movie. I enjoyed this stream. It's been very good. It's been a very good 2 days since this movie came out. And I feel like it's going to carry over, man, because Star Wars is live. And as long as you got Star Wars is good. All right, folks. Have a good night. May the Force be with you.